Oakland Raiders are more than a football team. They're an incarnation, the masterwork of Al Davis, a man whose dream was as audacious as it was simple.
I had a dream that someday I would build the finest organization in professional sports.
Not content with just winning, the Raiders reveled in their role as anti-establishment. They were unmistakable, unrepentant, and for a long time, just about unbeatable, winning 3 Lombardi trophies in 8 years.
Theismann back, looks off to the left, he fires it off there, intercepted, Jack Squirrel, touchdown Raiders! I don't believe it! Holy Toledo!
Take pride and be proud. Your commitment to excellence and your will to win will endure forever. You were magnificent.
But before they were champions, before Al Davis, the Raiders were the AFL's worst team. In 1963, Davis was named Coach of the Year for directing the Raiders to the greatest turnaround in league history, from 1-13 to 10-4. And he did it with what became the Raiders' signature style.
I had certain philosophies of my own, and that was, number one, what I call the vertical game. We were going to stretch the field vertically. When we came out of the huddle, we weren't looking for first downs. We didn't want to move the chains. We wanted touchdowns. We wanted the big play, the quick strike. We're going to take what we want. That was Raider football. The defensive theory evolved early on in the 60s to, number one, pressure. Put pressure on the pocket, put pressure on the quarterback, diversification of defense, and the utilization of your corners in a bump and run principle. And the idea is to disrupt the offense, disrupt the flow of the offense, disrupt the continuity.
Born on the 4th of July, 1929, Al Davis was an All-American original. Known as a maverick, Davis was also savvy. At the age of 36, Davis was named commissioner of the AFL, and his backroom acumen helped facilitate the merger between the rival NFL and the AFL. But Davis loved the game of football more than the business of football. Always on the lookout for new talent, Davis's keen eye helped salvage countless careers, including Super Bowl MVP Jim Plunkett. In fact, Davis has presented 9 men for induction into the Hall of Fame, more than anyone else. Al Davis defies easy classification because he was an original. Scout, coach, commissioner, and owner, Davis took a path unlike anyone before. Though a complex man, his motivation was perfectly simple.
The fire that burned brightest in me and the fire that burns brightest in this organization is the will to win.
The poet William Butler Yeats wrote that there was one myth for every man, which, if we knew it, would make us understand all that he did and thought. Al Davis's myth was the Raiders. He created their mystique and burnished their aura until they became unlike anything in football. Authors of The Impossible, the Silver and Black's library of fantastic finishes include many of the game's greatest plays.
Here comes the rush, he sidesteps, can he throw? He can't! The ball flipped forward is loose, a wild scramble, 2 seconds on the clock. Casper grabbing the ball, it is ruled a fumble, Casper has recovered in the end zone. The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Looking, he's under the gun, he's fired, he throws, it is! He caught it!
Al Davis loved pro football. And for a man impossible to define, 3 little words will have to suffice.
Just win, baby.
Since taking over as coach and general manager in 1963, Al Davis began building the Raiders not only a winning pedigree, but a mystique.
Which team, by colors alone, is identifiable around the world? Silver and black, tradition, history, nostalgia, commitment to excellence. All those things are the Raiders. We had the opportunity in 1963 to come here and build the finest organization in professional sports.
If I could leave a legacy when it's my time to leave, that people all over would remember that patch and say, wow, they were good, they were great, and they dominated.
In his first season, Davis inherited a 1-13 team and guided them to a 10-4 finish. His efforts rescued a faltering franchise and gave an identity to the city of Oakland.
This is Oakland, throbbing heart of the metropolitan East Bay, home of the Oakland Raiders of the American Football League, a team which has, under the direction of general manager and head coach Al Davis, enjoyed such a phenomenal growth that it is now being referred to as the coming organization in professional football.
I want you to know that this is your team, and I hope you'll grow with us as we grow. We'll grow and be tough now. Fight with them and just keep sticking it to them. Just we'll fight with them.
The Raiders is a persona team. We walk with a different swagger than other teams. We talk with a different swagger than other teams.
No ties and jackets, no dress codes, no hours, no rules, hardly.
We got the reputation of being a lot of thugs and ne'er-do-wells and ex-convicts, maybe.
We always thought that they were against us. It was us against the ledge. It was us against everyone.
And we'll get in the foxhole. Come on. Okay, guys, let's get in the foxhole. We're the Raiders. We're the Raiders.
It meant that you were on the most feared team in the National Football League. You would cheap shot. You would try and intimidate an official. You would try to stretch the rules. You live in the gray area, and you knew that you'd be rewarded for it.
I always sensed that Al had this way that he wanted to do it, and it really didn't matter what the rules were. Al was going to do it his own way, and that used to trouble me a little bit.
He had players who, you know, were charged with rape, players who were picked up for drunken driving, carrying guns. His kind of outsiders, rebels attitude fit in with those kind of players, and they all became the outcasts who were going to show the establishment who they were and what they could be.
I don't think Al Davis can say or do anything that affects his image, because there are people who love him, think he walks on water. There's the larger group of people that hate him, and nothing is going to change the opinion of either one.